Yo guys, what is going on? Blossom's back. Welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Today we're going to dive back into the series known as Garage Review, where we will be looking at one of the garages from one of my demon tier patrons, Corn. It's a pretty nice garage. I'm going to tell you all about it. We've already talked about it on my Discord server, so I know a lot about this garage. But with that said, let's get into it. You guys are going to be impressed. Alright guys, and here we are at Corn's garage, so let's have a look-see at the beautiful machines that he has in here. Now, one thing Corn is known for, and like I said, I've already gone through this garage. In fact, Corn and I, we had a good sit-down on my Discord server, and it was about like a 2.5 to 3 hour call, and we just really extensively looked through all his like rarities, and I told him, you know, what's great, what's not great, what to fuse, what to max out, and obviously he told me all these amazing stories of all these like random cars that he has collected on the way, and all the cool little upgrades that he's given them. So, you know, for example, here we can see with the AutoZam AZ1, the first one we see it's the OG way, right? It's 323, 10.2, 87.99. But now we also have a 233 version, or we also see a 233 version, which is the AutoZam AZ1, which is, well, yeah, the 233 is the same car. Why did I say the name twice? But the 233 version, which is 10.5, 88, and 97, which is a massive contrast to the 99, 10.2, and 87. So basically 333 to 233, the only difference is that you get +1 in handling if you go 233, but then you have to sacrifice 0.3 seconds in 0 to 60 and 2 miles per hour in top speed. Granted, the mile per hour thing isn't gonna really change anything in terms of results. The 10.5 and the 10.2 is a pretty big gap. Now, as I usually do when I start off these reviews, I always have to talk about the stats. RQ 500, 7,245 trophies, 270 renown, so he's getting through championships pretty well. We have 200k or 220k, as well as just about 5.5k gold. This is a pretty nice garage. If anything, if I had to say anything, it would be an emerging whale, a baby whale maybe. Well, maybe it's too soon to say that, but definitely this garage is going, you know, it's on its way to being something absolutely amazing. And we'll talk about the legendaries in a bit, but I'm really proud to see Corn finally achieve his first ever Tri-Series legendary, and we'll be looking at that in a second. But with that said, let us continue with the cars in his garage. Now, as you can see here, you might see a trend. I'm gonna give you a couple seconds. Okay, maybe I can't give you a couple seconds because I wanna announce it to you guys. But there is a trend in this garage, and that is specialization, right? Corn has been, you know, a pretty, you know, do I want to say avid? Corn, can I say avid? Or he's been a pretty loyal subscriber. Obviously, he's been watching my videos along with Androids and CMGs, and one of the things that we first talked about when he became a patron was how much specialization helped him, and also my specialization videos, and I'm just really happy to see that that's really taking effect, and we can see it in full force in this garage here, because this garage specializes in Nissan being number 1 and Land Rover being the second brand. So Nissan's number 1, Land Rover's number 2, kind of like in my garage where Dodge is number 1 and Aston Martin is number 2. Moving on to countries, you're gonna see a lot of just Japanese cars along with British cars. And then for tags, this is a pretty interesting one because I didn't talk about tags too much in my specialization video, because obviously for the newer player, you probably just want to go for a brand. But if all those brands kind of, you know, go hand in hand with a certain tag, then, you know, you could also, you know, go for a tag. So he also specializes in hatchback as well as street racer, right? And like I said earlier, he specializes in Japanese cars, he specializes in Nissan, so that kind of goes hand in hand with the street racer tag. Kind of like my garage, I go for Dodge and Aston Martin, which goes, well, Dodge in particular goes hand in hand with muscle car. Aston Martin, a couple hyper expensives here and there, but mostly just great exhibition as a whole. Anyway, moving on now, we've seen a lot of uncommons, a lot of rares, and a lot of commons. I can't say too much already because, like I said, I've already seen this garage, I've already reviewed this garage. We've already gone over like a 2.5 to 3 hour extensive review, and I know for a fact that you are trying to collect as many rares as you can get, as many uncommons as you can get, so on and so forth. So with that said, with that known and that in mind, I'm not going to really recommend you to sell anything, because I know you are trying to go for that collection, and that is always very nice to see, because at the end of the day, that is kind of the end goal, right, that Hutch wants the players to have is just to collect every car in the game. So yes, obviously we can see that he does play a little bit of clubs because there are some duplicates of some really key cars. For example, the Mazda MX-5 BBR Turbo. You know, a second Dodge Stealth wouldn't be too bad as well at 969. The i3S is an amazing machine, standard, low 0 to 60, medium ground clearance. The Fiat 124 Spider is a great one as well. And then also we see the collection of Nissan Primera EGTs. What's a pretty interesting thing here is that you can see there is a noticeable trend when it comes to Korn's garage. When he really likes a car, he kind of wants to go like all three patterns for three separate cars, right? So kind of like for this Nissan Primera, we have a 996, and I would assume that this one right here is a 969. But knowing you, Korn, this might even be 699, let's be real. But yes, later you would see in the trend as well, he's gonna have three of maybe the same car, 1969, 1699, 1996. At that point, it's not really at that point doing that isn't prioritizing like events. That's kind of just prioritizing the collection and just having a unique variety, and I think that is really good for the Blossom score. But moving on now, we do see a really not even pretty, but really nice collection, right? We got two Pontiac Bonneville SSEIs. Those cars are amazing. I'm a huge fan. And of course, we see 7 Nissan Skyline Hardtop 2000s. I'm a huge fan of this car. It was one of my favorite rares up until the point when I found out it wasn't the best city street rare anymore. But with that said, it's still an amazing machine. And as you can see here, we have it in 3 ways. We have 5484, 5383, and 5282. Now this is pretty interesting because I don't know what is what. No way this is 699 with 83. This might even be, and Korn, if you want to confirm with me, this might be 888. Because 5484 is the 969 pattern. I don't know what the top speed is for 969. Maybe it's 136 or 134. I don't know. This might be 699. But I do have 2 Skyline hardtops, and they're both 5494. They're both 969. This might be 969. So this is pretty interesting. 5383 is probably 888, right? And then this one is most likely 996 at 5282. But yeah, it's a beautiful car. Really, truly, it's a nice picture as well. I am a fan of the Skyline hardtop. And once again, duplicates of the Lotus Elise 1.6, in my opinion, the best rare in the game. Absolutely amazing. And it's nice to see that you finally got a second, I believe. Let us have a quick look. 7181. Yep, it's nice to see that you finally have a second Ford Escort Rally spec, because when we reviewed your garage earlier, I think we were talking about how you only had 1, or maybe you even had 0, and you were kind of relying on your 699, which I believe was the 7281, I would believe, is the 699, and the 7181s are the 969s. But yeah, now you finally have 2 of the 969 versions, and you have a lot more to go for spares. I feel like it's time you can finally get rid of the 699. I know we talked about how this is one of your oldest cars ever, so if you do have like a sentimental connection towards this car just because it's one of your oldest, then definitely do keep it around. But in my opinion, this 699 Ford Escort Rally spec is going to win you anything against other Ford Escort Rally specs. Obviously, it'll beat the other lower RQ off-roaders, but at the end of the day, if you want to go for the best out of your buck, you want to go for the 969 on the Ford Escort Rally spec. So yeah, if you want to sell the 699, go for it. I would be all for that. It's nice to see you have 2 Aston Martin Virages as well. I think I remember I did tell you that this car was amazing for the fast circuit as well as the drags, just particularly the test bowl because of its really strong MRA. It's currently hindered by its very bad 0 to 60, but the stats are pretty decent for a fast circuit. 5682, I think it's what, 91 MRA or something like that. And 170 top speed, so definitely not bad. It will be the Zagato on the test bowl because although both of these cars have really good MRA, almost identical, the Virage has a higher top speed, and because of that, adding in the fact that they have similar MRA, the Virage is going to win on the test bowl. So, you know, the DB4 Zagato kind of is being overshadowed. It's kind of looking like it's one of those like just all-rounder cars that's not really good at anything, which pains me because I love that car. Anyway, moving on to super rares now. Nothing much I have to say about this. It's just a very decent collection. The Mazda RX-7 Turbo isn't too bad. I know it hits 89 handling as well for an RQ41, So it's definitely not too bad, but it's definitely a very nice collection here. We see some very nice key cars like the Caliber, the Chevrolet El Camino. We also see the Pontiac GTP as well as the Nissan Almera. Once again, do look out for the Nissans. He has a lot of them. I think this is one of the only garages that I know that has actually gone and collected all the Muranos, and I think he has all the Muranos maxed out as well. We'll have a look. I want to have a look at the GTC because I remembered you were thinking about 996ing it, and I'm not sure if you went ahead and did that, but it'll be pretty interesting to see the stats if you did 996 it. But yeah, he does have his reasons for it. That car has amazing MRA, an amazing MRA for an SUV, so that is why. I think top speed is not too bad as well, compared to like the other American SUVs that kind of hit like 110, 115, 130 at best. For an SUV, if it hits like 150, that's pretty fast. And pretty good for the test bowl as well. But yeah, it's a very nice collection. Definitely more super rares than I have. You probably do have more maxed out super rares than I have as well. In fact, we can jump to the start of the video where he shows us the statistics. But I think he only shows us the statistics of every car he has per rarity and not fully upgraded. But we'll go back and check that out in a bit. But yeah, moving on to ultra rares now. You know, it's funny because I wrote down a list of ultras I would fuse, and as you can see here, we have a maxed out Murano right here in the corner, RQ52, and we're gonna see a lot of Land Rovers as well, because he does specialize in Land Rover. This is a pretty interesting one, the Nissan Pathfinder 82 handling. For some reason, I think that this thing actually should have more handling, so I'm starting to think that this car is 996. Do let me know if I'm right. If I'm wrong, also do let me know. But yeah, I think that's 996, which is really interesting. Nissan Pathfinder as well. Is this 996? I don't remember. I think they come on. They start with a base handling of like 78, don't they? Like, I know they're pretty high, or 76. I'm not too sure. But those Pathfinders, I know they do handle pretty well, so it would be pretty interesting to know if that was 996. But yes, going back to what I was talking about, I wanted to make a list of just ultra rares you could fuse, and I was like looking at all your ultra rares, and I was like, oh, I see a lot of Japanese cars, oh, I see a lot of Land Rovers that I would fuse, but obviously you specialize in Japan, you specialize in Land Rovers, so obviously I couldn't put them on the list. Here's another one, the Murano, if we can just go back just a little bit. Yeah, 6284, pretty interesting. But in the end, the only takeaway I could get for the one ultra rare that I would fuse in your collection right now, although I've already given you a lot more recommendations the last time we talked, is the Bentley Mulsanne Grand Convertible. That's it. So with that said, let's just look at the collection. So yes, you did 996 it actually. Here it is, 6083. You do have a second one, and I'm pretty sure this one's going to be 969. I have one which is 969, and I think it's 6285. But yes, this is pretty interesting. 6083, 151 top speed. Now this is an SUV 996 that would be really good for the test bowl, but that's about it. Fast circuit, it might be pretty good at that as well, but it's not going to be good at the quarter mile because, as you can see, a side-by-side comparison to the Honda Pilot, especially when you have it maxed, is going to smoke the GTC on a quarter mile. However, when it comes to test bowl and maybe even 1 mile, the GTC, especially at 996, will win because this SUV right here has really good MRA. Like, I think it's the best MRA for all-surface tire SUV Ultra, if I am not mistaken. So definitely, you know, I respect you for 996ing this SUV. It's become a very heavy specialist, but goddamn, I respect that. In fact, I'm inclined to do that myself. I'm tempted to do that myself. If I do get a second GTC, I think I'm gonna 996 it as well. But yes, moving on, you know, we do see your favorite Nissan of all time. You have 3 of them, the GTR R33. I think it looks like one is 969 and one is 699 because the 0 to 60 and handling is about the same, but the top speed is just a little different. Of course, we have the Evo 4 as well, amazing car. We got the Tamora, we got the Escort Rally Spec, the 924, which you surprisingly don't have max. Would definitely recommend that. Rapide S, and yeah, some pretty key cars, but however, we know this, and you know this, you are lacking a Colorado. But fear not, there's Chevrolet packs. There's a Chevrolet event coming up, which means Chevrolet packs are coming out, and Chevrolet packs are just always cheaper than all the other ones. Usually for branded packs, they go for $1,599, but for Chevrolet, it's just $1,499. So it's 100 gold off, right? It's not massive, but it's just a little cheaper. And I think Hutch did that because they know that you can't get any legendaries from the Chevrolet pack. Anyway, moving on to epics now. Once again, when the last time we discussed about this corn, you told me one of your main questions was give you 3 epics and 3 legends to max out in your garage. The epics stay the same, the Ford Raptor and the Superlight, and I can see that your Superlight is actually in the works right now, because I think the last time we were talking this was at stock, or maybe even 1 star, and now we can see the Caterham Superlight R500 is at 2 stars. So once you're done with that, I would say move on to the Raptor. And now I know the new acquisitions, because the last time we looked at your garage, you didn't have these 3 Charger Hellcats and the wide body. Yes, he actually opened all the Dodge Carbons on my server, and it turned out that from the 5 packs he got 4 epics, which is absolutely insanity. 3 Hellcats, so you're already halfway to my collection, and then you're 1 wide body. You lucky boy. Anyway, yes, I would add the Charger SRT Hellcat to the list. It's an amazing drag car, right? 996, 2.80 to 60, MRA of like 95. Definitely a keeper right there. I don't think you'll need 3, but definitely I would keep 2, because I also have 2 maxed out, 996 and 699. Don't 969 it, 699 it. It's better. Anyway, last but not least, we go on to your legendaries now. It's a very nice collection here. One funny thing about Korn is that he has absolutely superb luck. I remember he told me a story that he was actually looking for ultra rares and epics. I think he was looking for epics to fuse into his legendaries, and was looking for ultras to fuse into his epics. But whenever he tried to open a pack or a carbon fiber, he would always get a legendary. So I don't think he shows it in the video on how close these cars are from, you know, being pulled. But I'm pretty sure they're all like all these legendaries are probably pulled within like the same 2 weeks or maybe even 1 week. But yeah, he's been very lucky. He's only had this garage for, I think I wrote this down somewhere. How old? His garage is 1 year old. So Korn's garage is 1 year old, specializing in Nissan. R33 is his favorite car, and then everything else I've already talked about this. But yeah, very nice collection. The LP 670-4 is a beautiful car, short tail, and of course the Bugatti Veyron 16.4 Grand Sport. That is an amazing car. And I'm just so happy you got it. Right, it's your first ever Tri-Series legendary. I'm so proud of you. And one of the best things was he was actually in the same bracket with me. I ended up being 5th, and I think Korn ended up being 8th or 7th, something of the sort. But yeah, we were definitely helping each other out by, you know, basically just not hitting each other. But yeah, I'm just so happy that you finally got it. Things are looking up, man. Your garage is really taking shape. It's a beautiful garage. 917 is a beautiful car, and I would say my list doesn't change, right? The top 3 that I would do would be the Zonda R, the 917, and the R390. I think there were some people recommending the Jaguar CX-75 as well. Amazing car, right? 4-wheel drive, low 0 to 60. I would definitely add that to the list if you are a fan of it. I'm totally behind that, but my decision stays the same. If I had to max out any car, if you really wanted to max out a legendary, obviously I would go for the Bugatti Zonda R. But obviously you don't really need it anymore, because the last time we talked about your garage, this was before the Bugatti Veyron Grand Sport finals, but obviously you did use this car and it did win you the Grand Sport. Anyway, let's move on to the start just to show, because he shows us the stats, because I want to see, oh yes, this show is fully upgraded. 161 maxed out Super, which is insane, because I have 104, and I've played about 3 times as long as he did, and he has more max super rares. 59 max ultras, 11 maxed epics, 0 legendaries for now, 157 rares, 89 uncommons, and 51 commons. Once again, guys, this is just maxed out cars, right? If you want to look at his total count, does he show it? Yes, he does. And I want to see how much it has evolved. So the last time we looked at your garage was had 796 cars, and you had 6,620 trophies. So you've really gone up in the trophy count, you've gone up in the car count. The last time I looked at your garage, you had 76 commons, now it's 75, 123 E's, and now it's 128, 229 rares, now 234, 194 super rares, now 196, 113 B's, now 109, so you have fused some. And I think those are the ones that Leo and I recommended for you to let go of. 40 A's and 43, and then 21 legendaries, and now you have 22. And obviously the newest legendary is indeed the Bugatti, so congrats to you. But that said, let's get into the Blossom score. Oh, here we are on the Blossom score. Once again, it's been a while since we've seen this sheet. Last time we did it was, of course, Enqui's Garage was another patron of mine. But yeah, shout out to him. For uniqueness, definitely it's a 10 out of 10, man. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, oh, the one didn't register. Can you imagine? Okay, yeah, it's an amazing collection, right? You have like 996, 699, 969 of like cars that you like. I personally have the same as well, right? My BMW M3, Roof BTR, all that good stuff. Patriotism, definitely, man. Like, just the Japan collection is looking really strong. I don't know why. My one, I'm losing sensitivity on the one on my keyboard. It's like I have to tap really hard for it to show up. Finally, character, it's a 10 out of 10 as well, moving it to a 30. I don't know what's up with it, you know, patrons and getting perfect scores on the Blossom scale. I'm not even being biased. You guys have seen the garages. There's some weird ass crap in there, but it really makes it really interesting. It makes me smile, and I love to see it. Anyway, moving on to the scale, it's a big garage, right? It's under 1,000, but you know, for a year to be hitting, you know, the 800s already. I mean, my garage is not in 1,000. My garage is in the 900s, and like I said, I played for 3, he's played for 1. It's a big garage, but definitely not over 1,000, so I can't give it a 10. I'll give it a 9. Moving on to strength, is definitely a very strong garage, right? Maxed out cars left, right, and center, but you are missing some key ultra rares. We did see that, so I can't give you a perfect score on that, but I can give you an 8. Moving on to versatility, right? A lot of max cars on, you know, all fronts. We see some slick, some performance, some standard, some common, but then when it goes to the ultras and legendaries, that's where it kind of dies down a bit, right? Especially for epics. Once you get that Raptor maxed out, you would really bolster your off-road epic hand a bit. I didn't see a lot of standard tire ones though, so of that I have to give you a 6. Moving on to the lethal level, definitely, you know, the cars that you have maxed are very strong. Some very nice cars, and you know, when it comes to like Nissan events and Land Rover events, it's like an 11 out of 10. But obviously there are some weak spots, but once again, it's a pretty new garage. Like, one thing I actually had in my notes was German Renaissance finals is coming up, right? German Renaissance coupes. We didn't see a lot of that in his garage, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how well you do for the aerial atoms. Are you going to be opening those carbons? Are you not? Obviously, I'm going to review them as well. But yeah, for now, lethal level, the best I can give you is an 8. But finally, potential, that is definitely a 10 out of 10, which brings us to a total of 19 plus 8 is 27, right? 27 plus 6 is, oh god, 33. And then 33 plus 8 is 41. I hope I'm right, and that gives us a total score of 71, I think, out of a total score of 80, so definitely very strong. You're definitely up there. You know, we got 71.5 from Victory, who has a much stronger high end. The only reason I gave him like lower scores is because I think his low end was just really weak. Like, as you can see here, 6.5 and 6. Those were the really two things that was like pulling him down, but he has a definitely much way stronger high end. But yeah, with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed garage review. Once again, a lot of people have been asking me, you know, how long's the wait for garage review. Obviously, some of you guys have submitted your garages a long time ago. To be honest, it's like the wait is like in the 80s and 90s now, and with the whole Patreon thing, I have to get through all the Patreon garages first. So with that said, I would say maybe hold back on submitting your garage for now, because the wait is insanely long. But with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to stay safe, wash your hands, and have a great day. See you all next time. Blossom out.